So we got the 340 spoilers, and I'm guessing things are gonna go back to normal now, or at least as normal as they could be, with like the release of the spoilers and the, I guess, release of the official chapters too. We'll see what happens. The chapter begins with All Might and Hawks explaining that after Aoyama's reveal, they have reduced the number of people involved in formulating the plan as much as possible. So at the end of the previous chapter, All Might was talking to Hawks at UA, and he said, "Gone are the days of slinging sneak attacks and raids at each other," in reference to how like the original war started, or at least the most recent war, with the heroes getting the sneak attack on the villains, you know, infiltrating the hospital and all that stuff. Both sides are pulling out all the stops, gearing up for a true blue, all-out war on every front. So pretty interesting wordplay from Horikoshi here, because I'm pretty sure it's setting up like what this arc is going to revolve around. But anyway, All Might continues to say, "So about our plan B, let's review the key info about the other battle that could decide it all." So I'm assuming that's what he's going to be talking about in these spoilers here, what this plan B is. Ragdoll was called in, and although she is sad that the other pussycats are not there, she says that she will do her best to stop Search from being used for evil purposes. And in case you forgot, back in the Hideout raid arc, like the Camino stuff, All for One like took Search quirk at that point, and I guess it was most prominently used by Shigaraki like back once he got into the war and he was looking for Izuku. All Might puts two magnets on a blackboard, one representing Shigaraki and the other All for One, and says that the top priority is to separate them. Shigaraki is now stronger than All for One, and as long as their consciousness is connected, the heroes won't win. The leader of the pilots asks why All for One didn't go to fight Star alongside Shigaraki, and All Might explains that it's because he would be affected by New Order, since there wouldn't be the confusion with the names. That's interesting that Horikoshi would put that there. I don't think it's just him putting like a post-it note in front of us, like, I don't know, clearing up any kind of confusion that the audience may have had. I like to assume that Horikoshi doesn't read like comments on social media, or at least I really hope he doesn't. It's just so unbelievably toxic to just do that. But this just feels like somebody responding to somebody in the comments. But I also think that this is going to come back into play later, because it just doesn't seem like the New Order quirk is completely gone. And I know it appears that way, but it's battle manga, guys. He then sets the condition for them to win. Put them at a distance of at least 10 kilometers from each other. Suguchi says that All for One will use his soldiers well to avoid this being possible. Interesting that Suguchi would say that. Dabi, for example, can use area attacks and limit the opponent's movement, as happened in the camp and on Gunga Mountain. And he is not the only one. In order to be able to draw Shigaraki away from All for One, they need to lure each of the stronger villains and face them in isolation. The key to this is none other than Aoyama. Suguchi is still a bit skeptical. He says he understands the logic, but it is hard to trust someone who has betrayed society as a whole. That's what I'm saying. Aoyama should not be put in this position that he is with the heroes. Like, I get why Horikoshi is doing it. I'm not gonna like go too much into it because I'm just gonna make an enemy out of you guys, but I'll just say that if it was me, I would be handling this situation with Aoyama very differently. All Might, however, says he trusts him, and the teacher who trusts him as well, Aizawa. Well, alright, All Might. If you trust him, I guess I do too. Aizawa is face to face with Aoyama. The Yoshi-like doctor says that nothing irregular has been detected inside Aoyama or in his brainwaves, which only confirms Aizawa's suspicion that All for One dominated the family based on fear alone. So you can scan people's brainwaves and see if they're being controlled by All for One. Maybe give that test to like literally every single person in UA right now and make everyone see all the results. He then asks Aoyama what scares him so much. And Aoyama says that besides All for One, he is afraid of not being able to shine as brightly as his friends. The more they trust him, the more he doubts himself. He is afraid that even if he holds their hand, he will end up betraying them again if All for One asks so. I mean, he's straight up telling you that, like, you can't trust him. So Aizawa understands that he has to forcibly remove this fear from Aoyama. He says that despite the circumstances, his crimes will not be erased. It is very likely that he will not be able to remain at UA after this battle is over. The students were kinder because they are friends, but he prefers to speak the truth. You have to fight. That's the only thing you can do right now. Aoyama seems invigorated, but wonders if a single criminal can make any difference. Aizawa says that he is not alone. This is the path that everyone will travel side by side. As he says this, we see Shinso in his hero uniform hanging from a tree. His friends from the regular course say that it's time, and he agrees. End of chapter.
Hey, if you've made it this far, maybe you'd be interested in following me on Twitter. I'm pretty active on there, and I talk about all the new battle anime and manga stuff going on, all of the new spoilers, and big news and releases and all that stuff, as well as just nerd culture and pop culture and topical stuff. Maybe sometimes I'll even try to post some crappy memes too to liven up your timeline. But if Instagram's more your thing, you could also follow me on there too. I'm not as active, but I definitely plan on being more active there starting next year. So yeah, please check out my other social medias. Thanks, guys.
Okay, so that was a nice little swerve at the end here. I know we've all been waiting for Shinso to come back. I mean, we've been talking about it for almost a year now, especially since I guess around April or something last year, Horikoshi had like that art exhibit or something. And one of the pieces in that exhibit thing showed Shinso in his supposed hero costume, and also implying that he would be with Class 1A or just all of UA in the final battle of the series. And while I can't really perfectly make out exactly what it looks like yet, just gonna have to wait for the official release on Sunday, but it does appear to be pretty much the same as the art exhibit thing. Like, he looks like a ninja, kind of, and he's doing like the Spider-Man pose because, you know, Horikoshi loves Spider-Man. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the spoilers today, guys. We're kind of like in a transitional period right now with this series, so we're not gonna have like these hard bangers like we have been getting, you know, in 2021 and before that. They're coming for sure, since this is allegedly the final year of My Hero, at least according to Horikoshi. I don't know. He said like there's a year left, so it could be this, or maybe there's like a little that spills over into 2023. But what I'm saying is just, you know, bear with it for now, because I'm sure there's going to be like a 3-month stretch where every single chapter is like a 9 out of 10 and goes viral. So, you know, just patience. But if you liked the video, guys, just subscribe. Liking and disliking doesn't matter. Leave a comment. I guess that helps the algorithm maybe. And then watch time is always nice too. But yeah, have a great day, guys. See you next one.